Hello, 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 hello. We are so excited as we always are. Welcome to You, Me, and the Trinity's Christ Connections and Conversations. As I like to say, your auntie, your sister, your cousin, your friend. I am Coach Ebony Lachelle. And I brought some people along with me. We got new faces, we got returning faces. We are super ecstatic. We always go around real quick and let everybody introduce themselves. So, whoop, whoop, y'all know me. We're gonna go with let's get the doctor down there. Tell us about yourself.
Will that be me?
That's
be you.
that's
I don't
the
know.
one who all letters I didn't put on the line.
Lord Jesus. I am Cassandra Clariette, aka Dr. Cassandra Clariette, LCSW, Tennessee, Arizona, Indiana, and all the other states. And I currently reside in Tucson, Arizona, and I'm glad to be with you all today.
Okay, thank you, Sister Hall.
Um, I am a let's see. Well, first of all, I'm from Dothan,
Whoop,
Alabama,
whoop.
Circle City.
Circle City.
Mother, wife, musician, author. I just emceed for the first time at church the other day, so I think I'm an MC now
You was a singer.
and a singer, and just happy to be here.
Not.
She did not call me
She
Janotica. So I
did.
am Janotica. I am from Opelika, Alabama, born, raised, and still reside there. And I'm glad to be here on tonight. There's a lot I can say about me, but none of it really matters. I'm just Janotica.
No, she is a community activist, baby. She be on the move. She be making moves in her city, and I am so proud to call her my little sister because she be doing the thing.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad to be your little sister.
Sister Kimmy.
My name is Kim. I'm from Detroit. I go by Sister Kimmy on social media. And thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about
What
yourself.
about yourself, honey?
All right, I'm a nurse by career, a mother of four. Recently, I started a ministry called Refurbished Souls, and we had our first summit back in August called Matters of the Heart. So I've been working to build that up.
And it was awesome. It was awesome.
It's a healing ministry for women to help them heal from emotional trauma.
Nice.
Amen. It was phenomenal. Y'all catch the movement because my girl's doing big things. It's amazing. I am Elder Kim, one half of You, Me, and the Trinity, one part Christ Connections and Conversations. I love to call myself a women's empowerment enthusiast, and I'm just happy to be here with y'all. I've been MIA for a minute, but I'm back, and I'm happy to be back with y'all.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you. So, listen, tonight's topic. And I know we have some opinions all over the spectrum. Submission or slavery? Price, the cost, how you count it up of a virtuous woman. Woo. So I guess we can jump in the first question. This is how I guess we're gonna start the conversation off, and we'll just drift on from there. What is submission to you? What is submission? Whoever, just jump on in.
I'm still learning. Like what I thought it was, or what I assumed it was at this age, is I'm still trying to figure it out. I understand it's definitely a humbleness. It's a removal somewhat of myself in a sense, but at the same time, being me, not losing myself. Before it was a sense of service, do for, and it's not about you. So I'm trying to figure it all out as a woman, and then as a wife, and then as a believer So
Cassandra, what is submission to you?
Look, can we say her for last?
You might be right. You might be right.
Let's go to sister. Let's go to sister over there.
What is submission to you? What is the definition? What does submission look like to you?
Me?
Sister Cammy?
I'm with the other young lady. I'm still trying to learn it because what I've been taught about it was, or what maybe I perceived it to be, was subservient to your mate or to your husband, and so I'm still ready and willing and trying to learn exactly what it is before I enter into my new covenant.
Janatica, what is submission for you?
I knew that was coming to me. I'm like the other women. I am still trying to figure it out, but I do feel like I've always thought being submissive is I will submit and follow, but is in that same breath, I probably would be the woman like, that's not what we're gonna do. So I just so submissive is Bob is it has my mind blown because while I will submit, but I do feel like I will only submit to the man who follows God. And in that case, then that is what will call me to submit to him when I know that his ways are lining up or following the ways of Christ. Now, I'm not just submitting to somebody that's just out here loosely saying that God said something, but you'll know what it is as you all walk. Think as you'll know the man you're with, and you'll know if that's God or that's foolishness. So I believe in being submissive, but I also believe in being able to verbalize my opinion and my thoughts. I don't think it looks like just solely you telling me to do this, and then I'm gonna be like, okay, yeah, I got it. So I do feel like it still allows me the wisdom and the mind to think. And sometimes if I have to think for us, that's still being submissive, but we gonna have a conversation about it.
So y'all tiptoeing. Y'all tiptoeing.
Come on, Dr. C. What is submission to you?
I want you to go because I know my foot down there.
But I'm not. I'm telling you, I'm not. Like,
okay, all right, doctor, Roman doctor. What you got to say?
I feel so judged, so attacked. I'm telling y'all, I've been doing so much better. God been working on me, you know? Okay. So to me, being submissive, honestly, seriously, it's basically me being willing to enter into a partnership with somebody and being able to tone down my strong-headedness, me being just stubborn, one track, one way, and actually allowing somebody else's opinions to enter into my space, enter into my life, and actually giving a man consideration before I go and do something. So being submissive to me is not so much about, doing what my husband say or whoever doing what the man say. To me, it's really about being willing to partner with somebody in my life and not doing things the way I've always done things. That's how I see it.
Look at you behaving. Look at you. I agree. If I had to sum submission up in one word, I think that one word would probably be honor. I do. Okay, maybe I should say that part. No, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think that over the years, the way that we've been taught as Christian women to submit is not technically the way that Christ or Jesus, God, intended for us to handle the term. We look at submission as a form of slavery. I'm going to do everything he tells me to do. It's all about him, not about me. Totally cater to him, his needs, surrender to whatever he is, lose myself in him. That's where I think the negative connotation of submission came in, because somewhere along the line, somebody taught us that's what we needed to do to keep a husband. I don't subscribe to that.
And who is that somebody who told us this?
Huh?
And who is this somebody who told us this?
Oh, you want to go? How far you want to
Oh,
go?
let's go there. Let's go there.
The mothers, the mothers of the church, the
Mm,
grandmothers of our great grandmothers
mm.
of our generation, those who stayed in situations that they knew was toxic, but they found no way to be out there. Feel like if you can cook, you can clean, you can sex them real good, he ain't going nowhere. You submitted.
Lies.
And garbage, lies and garbage.
Totally
Ebony,
agree. Totally agree.
Cause
Ebony,
okay, look at here.
go ahead on your soapbox.
We all know that. Well, some of y'all know. People know me know I am stubborn. I got a mean streak, but in that same as the pendulum swings the other way, I will. I'm just as nice and just as sweet, and will give you my last as I am stubborn and mean. Now, when I was married, because I'm divorced, my mama would be like, me and my husband be over there to the house. Mom be like, "You gonna fix this plate?" And I'd be like, "Uh, I'm not."
Mm.
And she be like, "Girl, if you don't fix that man plate," be like, "I don't even like him today."
Oh, wait a minute.
So I'm giving you my truth. I'm giving you my truth. I'm giving you my
Okay,
truth. And I
okay.
would be like, I'm not doing. You know what? I'm gonna give him. You know what? That same energy that we had at that house before we got up him, and he want to get up here and act like everything 100. I don't do that. So that was then. But now, and we have come to the thing where they say you gotta cook and wash and clean and take care of the kids, and in this day and age we're working 8, 10, 12 hour days as well. And so in that particular relationship, he wanted what the down through the years definition of submission was,
Mm.
and honestly that just was not achievable for
Mm.
us, because in reality I don't mind cooking. I like to cook. I want to make sure that you look neat and you know put together when you go out, because just as I am a reflection of you, you're a reflection of me. Because they're gonna be like, "Ooh," because the first thing, if your man walk out wrinkle and through, they're gonna be like, "Ooh, why his
Where his
wife?
wife had all that clothes?
Why his wife?" So I don't mind even the down through the years submission, but your doggone show got to give me something to submit to. If you ain't gave me nothing to submit to, baby, I ain't submitting to nothing. Cause a real talk, I'ma feel like if I'm doing all this and making as much money as you do, I'm the man too. And that's just my truth.
Woo.
I don't have anything to drink, but the kids are playing the drums to that. So
So standing on those lines, y'all, I'm gonna read a little bit of scripture, right? Because we're gonna stay along those lines, and then I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Proverbs 31 woman.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
A
know.
virtuous woman. No, I'm just summing up. I ain't reading it all because we know that thing is long. But it says she's up before dawn, preparing breakfast for her family and organizing her day. She looks over a field and buys it. Then, with the money she put aside, and she plants a garden. First thing in the morning, she's dressed for work. She rolls up her sleeves, eager to start the day. She senses the worth of her work and is in no hurry to call it quits for the day. She's skilled in crafts and home design, diligent in homemaking. She's quick to assist anyone in need, reaches out to help the poor. Her husband is greatly respected. Her children are very well cared for. Many women have done wonderful things, but she outclassed them all. Do virtuous women that wake up in the morning before the family, cook the breakfast, cook the dinner, wash the clothes, stay up late when everybody going to bed. Even though she don't work her 9, 5, 10, 12, whatever she work, do these type of women exist in today's time? Is it realistic?
Girl, I just almost threw a finger sign up. Lord have mercy. Let me tell you something. Let me say this, okay? I learned some years back that killing yourself will not make you virtuous. Killing yourself will not make you a good wife. Killing yourself will not keep a man in the house either. I mean, what sense does it make for you to do all this stuff and yet you go work a job. And even if you're not working a job, that's still a job within itself. From my experience, based on just dating, when you have a great support system in a man, he won't even let you do all that.
And he ain't
Right.
Even when you trying to, well, let me, and you trying to run yourself crazy, that sit down somewhere. That's what a good one is going to. A good one not going to watch you run yourself crazy. When you trying to cook, we going to get something to eat. Or I've already did this, or we doing this. That's a good one. But what I've also learned, as Ebony said earlier, when these men folk expect you to do all this stuff, from my experience, they be straight trash anyway. And don't even deserve a hot cooked meal. They don't even deserve to have their laundry done and all this other stuff. If they will watch you kill yourself, they do not love you. They just don't. And you got to love yourself enough not to kill yourself. Years ago, I started getting my house clean. And it's already understood I'm going to keep on getting my house clean. I pay somebody to do laundry. Guess what? I make the money. I'm not killing myself to do all this stuff. That does not make you virtuous. That makes you a fool, if you ask me. I mean, Proverbs 31, those folks were back in the fields and they weren't educated. They weren't running facilities and doing all this. They just out in the fields, tending to the fields. That's it. This is 2022. We're not killing ourselves. You killing yourself, running yourself raggedy, and you want to be able to say, I got the kids, I did this, I did. You just foolish. I'm sorry. That's not virtuous. That's foolish. And that's my take.
Yeah, because you got to keep your mind in the process. And what good are you to anyone if you're dead?
Because you're not.
Right.
I mean, like, you still have to have, I'm sorry, we directing kids around here. Barriers in all of your relationships, romantic, friends, work-life balance. You still have to have those guardrails and some say, because if you having a mental health breakdown, you ain't good to nobody.
Mm-mm.
You ain't good to nobody. And so, I know I often use my parents as examples. So my parents very much have a traditional relationship. While both of them worked, my dad was a retired pastor. Sunday morning, I would wake up to breakfast because breakfast was already done. And dinner was done too. Because when we came back, we very rarely went out. We came home to eat. Some mornings I woke up because she prepared communion. I would wake up and watch her knead the bread and be praying over it. So, but now, as they have aged and gotten older, she still very much is running around trying to do everything. And my dad would be like, "Hey, sit down." Like he'll do a load of clothes or something. He'll wash the dishes, but his is like, okay, so she doesn't cook, sit down. So love won't let you watch somebody run themselves into the ground.
Yeah.
Kimmy, what you think?
I agree, but like I want to tap into what she said, the first statement earlier when she said, but he has to be someone worth submitting to. And I guess my thought is, if he's not worth submitting to, then why would we be with him?
Oh, yes.
To start.
Okay.
And I think I have more of a traditional way of desiring for my covenant to go. I do work. I do everything we talked about with the virtuous woman. I do all that right now without a mate. So at the point I have a mate, we're then partners. And once we're partners, that's one of the goals of having a mate, is to partner with someone and not have to figure it out all by yourself. And like y'all said, running yourself
or not having to do
crazy.
it all by yourself.
Not having to do it all by yourself. And I trust that when that time comes, we'll be able to figure out how to manage our household where there's balance and no one feels like they're carrying the bulk of the weight.
I agree. And maybe with like you, I think I'm a lot more traditional in terms, because the things that were named, I mean, of course I ain't working in no fields, it's 2022, but I'm sorry, being a mother. I'm busy. Thank you. I enjoy serving. And that might be a part of my problem, because I know the fact that I love serving, sometimes it does make me, do a little bit more than I probably have time in the day to do. But I enjoy cooking dinner. My children are grown. All right, y'all might judge me. I still fix everybody's plate. Yeah, they wash their own clothes, but like I don't mind. I don't mind washing clothes. I don't mind cleaning. I don't mind doing the things that a wife does. It doesn't. I don't mind fixing play. I don't mind doing any of the things that most women might or some women might look at like I'm not doing that. He grown, he can do it himself. Like I will fix your plate and bring it to you while you watch the football game. I will wash all of your clothes, fold them up, and put them away. I will iron your clothes before you go to work and make sure you have a lunch to carry with you. When I was 26 years old, 27, and I was married to my first husband, he worked like from 6 at night or 6 in the evening to like 3 in the morning. I would fix my kids one meal, bathe them, do everything I had to do for them. Took a nap. I woke up at 1:30, 2 o'clock to fix him a totally different hot meal. That's just nobody told me that's what I had to do. I just didn't mind serving.
So I got a question. So
So
because so does that make other women whose top love language isn't acts of service less virtuous because we're not waking up in the middle of the night
Mm-mm.
to cook
No,
our men
that's
something
just your preference of how you run your household. You do that thing like you do that, and I do that thing like you do me.
And I'm with Kim. Go ahead, sis. I'm sorry, Ebony. Go ahead, Ebony. Are you? Because see, as Kim was talking, Kim had me sold because that is me too as well, Kim. I believe in those things. Ebony sometimes tell me, you're doing too much. And I'm like, no, that is truly the desire of my heart. If I am a servant, if I'm if I'm of service to others that's not my husband, that's not, just children and people in the community, can you imagine the type of service that I really want to give to my king? Like,
okay.
And and I might not wake up and give him a hot meal at 1:30. Now you better put it in the microwave and now he's waiting on you before I go to sleep. But the other stuff, Kim, I'm with you on that. Totally 100%.
So my thing comes in because I know both of you personally, and one of your top love languages, how you display your love, is acts of service. But what happens when you've given so much that you're empty?
You gotta. That's the thing.
Dry, because a lot of people whose top love languages are acts of service don't know how to say no.
But that's the thing, though. As time progresses, you learn who deserves those things and who don't. There are some men who deserve hot meals, and some Negroes deserve hot dogs. Some don't even deserve that. You just have to, as time progresses, wisdom kicks in, and you learn. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm learning now. What makes me want to do that for a man is when he makes me feel loved, comforted, protected. I don't have to worry about things I would normally have to worry about without his presence being here. He makes doing these things easy for me. He makes me want to serve him because of the way that he treats me. Now, Jim, Joe, John, and Bob, they don't get this. They don't get that. But if you come and you, like you said, your love languages, if you're making sure I'm good and you're pointing to me into ways that I feel like I need to be validated, then in return, I'm going to serve you. It's a reciprocity thing. You don't get to drain me, but if you treat me well, you get the best version of me. I don't know how to turn that off.
And watch this. One thing that I have, and I keep going back to what I'm learning now, is that even in the part of wanting to serve, because that is a part of me as well. I love to care for people. I love to do and things like that. But when you meet somebody who is already ahead of you and doing this stuff for you and making sure it's already done, it's like, dang, I was going to try to cook us a little something. It's already taken care of. You don't even get the opportunity to do the stuff because you jumping the gun. It's like, golly, it feels so good to just be loved on and cared for, provided for, just to be heard. It's almost like, is this real? But it is. It is actually real. So then this is where I have to adjust. And also this is where my submission part comes in, because me being so stubborn, wanting to do things the way I do things, this is where I have to tone down and understand, relax. It's okay for somebody to do XYZ. It's okay to finally depend on somebody. It's okay because this person has proven that, hey, I'm here. I'm a person of my word. You can trust me. Like, until they give you a reason not to depend on them. This is where submission, being submissive, really comes in, it where you just tone down and go ahead and deal with your mental health issues, so you can deal with all the trauma and all the stuff that is preventing you from trusting somebody anyway, because you've been let down. And so now it's the time for you to relax. And it feels funny when you used to doing, being ran in the ground, depleting yourself, and the person just taking, and now here it is, you trying to repeat the cycle and do, and it's like, not this time, because that's not how this gonna go.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I want us to be mindful and careful. I think, okay, if I can speak for some women, I'm not going to say all. I think that the women who have an issue with servitude have given so much of themselves to the wrong people that now they're just like, I ain't doing nothing for nobody, or they've seen, like Ebony said, she's seen her mom serve her dad. I grew up seeing my mother serve my dad. And I'll be honest and tell y'all, I used to have attitude back in the day because my mama would fix my daddy's plate. And we'd be looking around like, this shit ain't gonna fix our plate. Like, we gotta go in here. So I had this thing in my mind for a very long time that when I was grown, I wasn't fixing no man plate. Like, I'm not fixing his plate. So I'm wondering, is it trauma that makes us want to deny serving others? Is it because of past hurts when we tried to be good to somebody or serve them? They made us regret it, so now everybody gonna catch it. Ain't nobody gonna, we just over it. Like, I'm wondering how much trauma is involved in our level of servitude.
I would probably say,
have you heard that statement?
Hold on, wait. Cynthia, she started.
I was just gonna add then say I think it's about 75% of trauma. Our experiences dictate a lot of the way we move. Even though we say we're healed from stuff or we're over stuff, and we are over people that we have allowed to, we got to take a little accountability in it too. But when you don't know no better, I guess it is what it is. But we do carry that with us, and we don't realize how effective we are until we get in the next relationship, or as older as we get, we realize that even though we've prayed about it and we've given it to God, still we can. It shows that we haven't really let go like we thought. And I guess that takes time, but I think it's absolutely trauma. You could be triggered easily by things that you didn't even know that you could be triggered by, that you thought might have been gone. But when you are taught in a sense that you're supposed to do, we do have a tendency, like you were saying, that's just kind of your makeup. Like, that's how you are. So even though mine is acts of service too, it's not necessarily like my makeup, but because you'll go beyond naturally in some places that I may not. It's not that I don't want to. It's just it's hard to be you because that's you. Like you were saying earlier, we need to be our best selves, find out what it is that we do well and just stick with that. However, serving a fool of a mess in the past and then getting healed from that or revived from that and moving forward. If you could do it for Billy Bob.
Not Billy Bob.
I don't know. I clearly just put my age away. Billy Bob. If you can do it for Billy Bob and he wasn't necessarily deserving of it in any aspect, then you can definitely do it for the one that is deserving of it. It does work both ways, because when you are running and he's running and running, both of you need to be able to see each other and pull each other back sometimes. We get one-sided sometimes, with dishes. That's just, to me, that's just not the woman's job. We're both creating dishes. These children who live rent-free we're all in the same capacity trying to get it done. So we're both working and both doing. I don't think submission, in a sense, I know we're talking from woman to man or in that way, but I think if we're all working on the same team, then we're all submitted in some ways to get the job done, per se.
Right, I agree.
But it does depend on how you're brought up. You know, our experiences do kind of dictate how we think about a thing. But some of those things can be let go because our thing ain't our mom and daddy thing. They thing ain't, you know, we're all different. We're going to get it done the way we're going to get it done, however that be.
Janonica? She probably forgot the question.
I forgot what I was going to say. I think what I was basically going to say was that if once you are who you are, then like I'm just a natural, like it's natural. I'm a natural giver. And so that's just who I am. It doesn't matter if I catch one that's not good. I'm not going to let one thing stop me from giving who I am. So I guess past hurt and past trauma does not have an effect on me because I'm not going to miss out on serving this good man because you was a fool and I done locked down and shut down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to continue to be me and who I am. And if it's you and when you're genuinely doing it from the heart, it doesn't come at a struggle as much. And but if you got to play to be a server, or have a service heart, then it's going to be very tough. But like I said, for me, on the other hand, I'm just a natural giver. I'm a natural lover, and I'm going to always go above and beyond. Like I said, if you think I'm for the man that the right one that's really the right one, you think I'm finna let what this fool did to me in the past keep me from taking care of this man's heart? Like, I don't care how many times I have to do it to get it right. Like, I ain't gonna get tired. God gonna he'll feel me back up.
But it's so many women that can't even recognize the good thing.
Yeah.
Because they're not there. And that's you know, it's sad, but it happens. They can't, like how we sound like we all know who we are. We sound like we're pretty solid in who we are. And there are some women that still just hadn't even figured that part out yet.
Yeah, that is true. And I think one of the things that we must deal with is before we even talk about submissiveness or servitude is you have to heal from the foundation or whatever has crushed you or torn you, because it's going to be neither one. And then you're going to automatically have this mind that you're in slavery because of your past hurt. So it's like you're messed up before you even get started. So whether you're going to be submissive or have servitude, it don't matter if you're messed up, because what y'all heard when the collection plate goes around, do not give grudgingly or out of necessity. You know, and so if you're gonna give it grudgingly, you may as well just
don't do it.
Stop. Just don't
do it.
Cassandra?
I was just going to add that, you know, I hear so many people make the statement of I'm matching energy. And to me, that is like one of the most childish, vindictive, broken approaches anybody can ever take. Like, now I'm not matching your energy. If you're not bringing the right energy, I'm going to move on somewhere where the right energy is. Because what happens is we allow people to take, or allow our trauma to take us outside of character. You know, you're real, you're a giver, you have a servant's heart and all this, but now you're functioning in your brokenness. And so it's all about, oh, I'm matching energy now. You just looking dumb now. You know, it makes no sense to sit up to be vindictive and be hurtful and spiteful towards somebody. And watch this. When we don't take the necessary time to really heal from our trauma, when a good person comes along, here it is. Now we're operating in paranoia.
Oh,
well, you know, education coming out.
Whoa,
don't do counseling sessions.
Oh,
we just go. Then it gets to the point where the paranoia gets so bad. Now we're functioning and thriving in anxiety. When anxiety is present, then the behavior we bring forth is piss poor. And so everything is just a ripple effect because you don't, like you mentioned, you don't take the time to know your trauma triggers, things that are upsetting to you. Mm-hmm. And it's your job to communicate using your words as an adult to let somebody know. This is upsetting to me. This is triggering to me. No, it's not your job to tiptoe around me. But if you care about me while I'm still doing this work, could you please not do X, Y, Z? Could you please not do that?
Well, you know? First of all, we need, as women, need to learn how to be by ourselves for a minute. We go from one trauma to the next trauma, one relationship to the next relationship. So when he do come, we can't even recognize him because we in a relationship we ain't got no business being in. And we don't take our time to be single. We even look at submission like we do singleness. It's negative. It's not, you're supposed to be with somebody. You're supposed to be in a relationship year round instead of taking our time to figure out who you are and what you want and what you don't like and what you need and what you don't need. And when the man presents himself that God has, you know, we can't almost even see what that is.
But that also,
you don't trust it. Because I mean, if it is that man and we haven't taken the time to do the work and heal, he come through, he doing all of these great things that we've been praying and asking God for. God send me a man to do this, that, and the third. Then when he come, we scared. We want to run. This don't feel right. He too good. This got to be too good. But you pray for this, sis.
And watch this. What happened when Peter actually went to jail and the church gathered back at the house to pray? And Peter, they prayed fervent prayers. They were able to get him free, get him out of jail. When he showed up at the door, the girl Rhoda, his spirit at the door, closed the door up. Like, it's, baby, this is what y'all prayed for. You prayed the prayer, it was fervent, and the Lord moved quickly. But suddenly, you actually was functioning out of disbelief, no hope, no faith. And then when it actually happens, and I'm talking about myself, when it actually happens, you fighting and kicking like, no, this ain't you just fighting and you kicking.
Something right.
And watch, and this is how you know when God will send somebody and allow somebody to come. Because while you kicking and fighting, they just standing there looking. Just standing there looking. I mean, you either gonna do this or you not gonna do this, woman. Just what you fighting me for? I haven't like what you gonna do, because you gonna mess around. It's like somebody who's drowning. You gonna mess around and drown me because you can't swim. And I gotta go release you and let you drown because I can't let you kill me in the process of trying to figure out if you're gonna do this, you're gonna let me help you, you're gonna let me save you, or what's gonna happen. But we pray this stuff, and honestly, you know, I've been there. You've been praying about something, and it's like you pray about it, but your faith in it is gone. It's depleted just because you've been praying about it for so long, and because you've been praying for so long, it's like, I mean, I'm doing this out of habit now. I just do it out of habit. It ain't happened yet. I'm just, you know. And then when it happened, because of the hopelessness, your hope is so depleted. The faith is so depleted. And now here it is. You got to spend time trying to get some hope back in the situation, little bit by little bit. And that's why when you have men folk who want to say, you know, I don't want to be a good man. You know, it's hard out here. The next man made it hard for me. It's not the next man. It's just that woman making it hard for you because she hasn't done the necessary work.
So let me ask you this, and let me see if I get my phrasing right. Do you think that hopelessness in the situation is causing a trigger response to women when we actually run into a good man and he's doing everything that we need, but because we are so hopeless in the situation, the thought of submitting to him is triggering?
Yeah, I think not knowing the definition of submission is the problem. You know, sometimes, and especially we grew up in the church, as you all mentioned and identified earlier, submission. You do what your husband tell you to do. You cook, you clean, you take care of the kids, you go to work, you come home, let that man lay on top of you and go and roll over and go to sleep. Like that's what submit. Folk don't know the real definition of submission. And truthfully, you have to define that for your relationship, your household, and what's gonna work for you. Because the stuff that's working over there for y'all, it ain't gonna work over here for me. And vice versa. So in my opinion, we are responsible for a lot of our own responses. Yes, we have trauma triggers, and we also have trauma echoes. You know, this is not a trigger. It's not actually that thing that happened, but it's reminding me it's so similar, and it's causing me to just act impulsively and run away and flee from the situation altogether because I feel like it ain't gonna work no way. So why am I doing this?
Is it fear? Are we afraid to submit?
Can we take a moment? I am actually I'm on my cell phone, y'all forgive me. That's why it's so small and so because I'm not at home. I was supposed to be at home, but something came up. But can we take a moment to share what the dictionary says submissive is?
I have it if anybody ready to hear it.
Oh, come on, girl.
Because
Come on, girl. Come on with the camo.
Okay. It is submissive. It's ready.
We gotta go for it right here.
It's ready to conform to authority or will of others, meekly obedient and passive.
That's the one I read. That's the one. That's why my camera went off. So let's understand. Come on, sister.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me. Can I say something?
Go ahead.
That's Webster's definition. What is the biblical definition? Because see, what the world and Webster say might not be what the Bible say, and that thing might be thinking the wrong way.
Well, can somebody
right?
What about what we say?
It's unfortunate we veer away from following the biblical ways of marriage anyway. We've gone more towards the worldly ways. Because I'm sure if we go through the Bible, the way we can perceive marriage and what we should be doing
ain't the same.
We doing it more of the worldly way.
What you got to say?
I want to say this right here because I know, and y'all know, my doctorate is in, I done did the work, right? I done did the work. One of the most important things that we pointed out was the mere fact that the Bible is fashioned from an entirely different time, entirely different world. And a lot of the meanings and the things that we pull from the Bible, we've had uneducated people twisting the word to fit Western culture and Western civilization. Until you do the work in Greek and Hebrew, you can't rightly interpret the Bible that you see now. So that's why I always say when people say biblical stuff, and I always have to wait a minute, have you done the work? Have you dissected this thing the right way? We think fornication means one thing. We think adultery means one thing. We also think that we must be married. We cannot divorce. It is so frustrating because people are literally inside of a box, miserable, unhappy, depressed, and God just sitting there looking like, child, why won't you get to know me for yourself? Why won't you take the time to really dissect what is in front of you? And so until we can rightly divide the word, when I say rightly divide, actually looking at the origins of the word that we read, where the word came from, we can't really apply it the way it's supposed to because we don't even know what the word really meaning.
Now, I'm with you when you're right. And I think you was right then because I went and I Googled several things before in preparation for this, and if you go and you Google biblical submission of a wife, you get several, and I mean several, different interpretations. So how can we rightly make a blanket statement of what submission is when you can't locate and pinpoint a specific definition? Because it is going to look different for everybody, as several of you have stated. And I can't remember who, I think Cynthia said this. as we are submitting to our husbands in whatever way that works for us, they have to submit to us as well in some fashion in order for you to have a a good marriage on both parts. That's just my
Healthy
little
marriage.
take.
I not said it, and it's true. Um, if a man is humbly submitted to God, he in turn will I, he in turn will submit to the ways of a husband. He will do what a husband, what scripture says, or what he's been taught. Like he will do what a husband should do, and in turn, if he's doing those things, it will make us also want to return the same thing onto him. But like we said, it looks different for everybody. It looks different for everybody. Like Not said, some of the things I do, she wouldn't do. Ebony said she ain't even fixing the man plate if she
None
mad
of
at
it.
me.
And she eager for
No,
that.
hold on,
I'm
wait,
not
hold on.
a
That
married.
was before. That was before, and let me give some context to that. Let me give you some context. That so when I met my husband came in like a white knight. He came in like like it was, oh girl, how much your car insurance? Oh, this mine. We finna merge these because you pay. I'm paying this. You paying that. And this was before we got married. We can break this down if we get multi-car discount. Oh, he trying to save me some money. Oh, how much left on your car? Oh, you don't owe but such and such. I'm finna come into some money. There you go. Paid off my car. We was dating like 4 months at the time. Um, I had been married before. I've been married twice. So I had at the time my son was 2. He came every day. And my son was born early, so we were still in the process of going to Birmingham once or twice a month. At that point, my parents stopped going to Birmingham with me because my boyfriend was taking off to drive me to Birmingham, to drive me and my son to Birmingham. So when all of that was fine, oh boy, you hungry? You coming over? Don't worry about it. Don't stop getting them to eat on the way down here. I got you. And like, and at the time I was working in the city he was working in, he lived in. So, oh, come on, we went on. So something's shifted. And instead of us continuing to grow together, we grew apart. And at that point, yes, doctor, the petty resided real heavy with me. So I matched that energy, baby. That's why I laughed when you said that I was childish. I matched it. And so I did stop those things, but the 40-year-old me is not looking for someone, is very much looking for someone that we continue to complement each other. And after doing the work while we were separated and were going through a divorce, I realized that I had not healed from my first marriage. So I realized that I could not recognize my trauma triggers and or echoes because I was still sitting in such a place of brokenness that I didn't realize that I was basically marrying the same man, just in a different body.
Got him.
So now at this point, and that's when I say, and Kim and my sister Kim and Danica, they'd be like, oh, but because I realized that once I'm in it and I do give, I'm the type of person who, because I grew up, if my daddy went, like my mother trusts my daddy blindly. And I told her I desire to be in a relationship where I trust you blindly. Because if my daddy told her it was going to be done, if he told her, either one of us, not to worry about it, then you didn't worry about it because you knew it was going to be done. It might not have been the next day or the day after that, but you knew it was coming. You could take whatever he said and put it in your emotional bank because that was cash. And I told other people I desire to have a significant other. Like, baby, okay, let me work this thing out, but don't you worry about it. So, but
I feel they still exist, sis.
I didn't say they don't exist. I think that there are men
I'm saying
like that. yeah, I'm just my barriers
Yeah.
like now, in order to protect my mental space and my mental health and not go back to that low place I was in.
Mm.
If it's an echo, come out and I bring it to your attention because I'm going to communicate it to you. Now, if you give me too many echoes, I'm coming out the king. And that's just in order to protect my emotional space and my mental health and my spiritual health. Because y'all, I tell everybody, I went a whole year and couldn't pray. So
Mm.
that's not a place that I am willing to revisit. So
Yeah.
if it means if I hear too many echoes, if that means you know what, because I'm going to communicate it to you.
Mhm.
So, and that's what I said. That's how going back to when I say you have to give me something in order to be submissive to you, because I am naturally an extremely nurturing person,
Hmm.
but I have learned how to pull back. My ministry of no is just a little bit stronger than
It's
y'all.
really stronger than very much stronger than ours.
You don't
Yeah.
have one.
I mean,
Yeah,
I will say, I say no. I
I
be
say
saying no to
no
people.
too.
What,
And
no, y'all don't.
yes,
I be
we
saying no
do.
to
We do
people.
say no. We say no. And
No,
so that
y'all
go
don't.
and so that goes to, like, as I listen to Ebony talk, because she often talks about this with us, and I've heard that, and that's why at first I was like, I be wanting to say, sis, they
You
don't
being so
exist no
hard.
more. Like, your
Yeah.
daddy don't exist.
But I
But
bet they
really, I know
do.
that truthfully they do. And it just looks so much different from the men who are true men like your dad than, what, but they're coming. They'll come along at some point.
I believe they will. I just, honey, but y'all
And
know
so, and
me.
one
I
of the
say
things,
no.
like Ebony says, she communicates very well. And one of the things with me, I do communicate, but I ain't finna be keep telling you stuff now.
Yeah. Yeah. No. No.
I'm not willing to do that. I'm
You
sorry.
don't tell them
And,
folk nothing.
So let me
and
ask y'all a question. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I'm gonna ask y'all this question. I know we got to get babies to bed and all that stuff. I'm gonna shift
yeah.
it a little bit, and I guess we can go in table order, as the old folks say. Uh, I read a status today, a post on Facebook, right? And this young gentleman, he was stirring the pot, baby. He had him hot. He said, "Ladies, in order for you to become his wife, you got to act like his wife."
Girl, see,
See, I ain't got time to be playing.
Hello. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go down to how I see it on my screens. Sister Kimmy, you first.
Okay, I disagree with that. I think a man does want to see wife qualities in a woman that he is pursuing and looking to possibly make, to make his wife. I don't agree because I've seen that statement before on the internet. Should you be a wife to a man? No, you should be a wife and have wife qualities. I don't think he should have access to all of those wife qualities as your girlfriend or somebody you're dating.
Because that's an upgraded level. Like it's
Hmm.
levels to this.
mm,
Miss Howell.
wait.
I agree. I mean, if we're giving it, if we're just, I mean, then what we get married for? If we, I mean, it's, I mean, I agree with you, darling. What you said.
Janatica.
Oh wow. This is tough. This is tough. This is tough. Um I think I think there are tiers to it. I
Tears,
don't
the
feel
word.
like I need to be I need to show you that I'm capable of being your wife, and the things that you would see me do, not actually because I'm trying to be your wife, but that's who I naturally am. And that should be the things that you should seek in a woman, because some of us can do everything that you
Yeah.
want to be done, just like Ebony described her boyfriend that turned husband. So some can mask this thing very well, and you marry, and then it's like, whoa, who did I marry? So I don't think you should want me to be your wife in order to make me your wife. Like, I don't need to act like your wife in order to, these are just things I need to do anyway.
Mm.
Oh,
Dr. C?
doctor. Doctor.
So I would like to ask a question.
Okay.
When does marriage start? When does marriage start? Is it when you sign the piece of paper?
Oh.
Because in my mind, the way I do it is, the way my belief is, marriage is a mindset. It's just, to me, it's a mindset. You cannot flip a switch and then once you sign the paper, okay, boom, it's time for me to start acting. It's time for me to me, that's just me. Like, I feel like it's a mindset. And I sat with that for a while, maybe about a year ago, because this guy asked the question on Facebook. His thing was, well, I'm getting married tomorrow, so I'm going to go turn up one last time. And he was planning to, hook up with somebody. And my thing was this right here, baby, if you can just flip your penis out just like that overnight, and you're going to put it back up because you signed some paper, it don't work that way. To me, marriage is a mindset. I need you to have a mindset of marriage before we even get together. You put the ring on my hand. We go pick out dresses and all that stuff. I need to see the mindset. Because if you functioning like you single and you waiting to sign a piece of paper, you still coming home whenever you want to come home, and you still got the whole Rolodex of females, baby, I'm sorry. To me, it's a mindset. So yes, you're going to see some wife qualities in me because that's just a mindset that I have. That's how I function. And that's why I've learned everybody can't have access to me.
And but I just gotta piggyback off what she said. The marriage, that's just the ceremony. The marriage is already entered into agreement. I think that's just the ceremony that we have in the exchanging of the vows and the rings. But the ceremony, that's simply the ceremony for the traditional things that we do as people.
So the public can see us together.
Yeah, but the marriage has had to already enter into this covenant
and
before
we
the
know
ceremony
that to be
takes place.
true because what did Jesus say to the woman? I want to say it was a Samaritan woman. You have
Samaritan woman at the well.
And honestly, when we take a look at the Bible in marriage, that's actually how it was done. It wasn't about paper. It wasn't about until, baby, when you get together and it's understood, you're in a covenant agreement together. That's when it actually starts to begin. Yeah. That's where, you begin to see who you're really with, but that's just
Which is why there's a proposal, right?
This is good tea right here.
And watch this, even before the proposal, because a man ain't gonna pop the question until he know he gonna get a yes if he got sense.
Okay, so listen here.
So it's already there.
Say this right here. I know several good Christian men, real good Christian men.
They probably preachers.
And they are. They were. I ain't gonna call no names because
don't call.
No. I ain't gonna call because they told me this in confidence. But since I ain't calling them names, I'm gonna tell y'all this. Who told me that if they don't know everything, that they gonna get after they make this thing legal, then they can't make it legal. So you definitely got to
come. Has said that.
So you got to come in here like they want to know if you can cook it, flip it, whip it, and pat it down. All before
that's the hard part too.
And we ain't just talking about food. We ain't just talking about food.
We ain't talking about food at all.
Would you go and buy a car that you haven't test driven?
You're not.
I'm sorry. We are 2022. Look, I need to know because I need to know. Am I gonna be ready? Well, I guess we can pray. If God put us together, He gonna make all that thing work.
That's what I say too now.
Every lies and good.
That's what I say too now. He knows the eyes of my heart. He knows how I. He knows me.
Come on, y'all.
He created me.
Y'all trying to.
He ain't gonna give me. He ain't gonna do me like that.
All I'm gonna say is I believe in how the Bible was wrote. Okay, when some people knew who they were gonna marry before they were born. It was arranged, and that's how they got together. If we're gonna do it based on the Bible, that's how it's true. It was arranged. But I know getting to know and all this stuff. Like
They was waiting for her to listen, Sarah or Penny or whatever. By the time she reached adolescence, 12, 13,
She was
her
already
father already knew.
The period.
Yeah.
They
I
had
don't know. I've always
already
said this though, and I had a girlfriend. She probably watched, she used to get on me because I said this, but I believe it's true. I'm a whole wife. I'm a wife without a husband.
That's
So
right, Kim.
it's
I'm a
just
wife in waiting.
right. It's like I said, it's a mindset. Like I might not have no husband right now, but I know I'm somebody's wife. Might not be your wife, but I'm somebody's wife.
Speak
Right.
that thing.
And real quick, just in case somebody that's watching don't know, because some people be using a lot of words and they don't know what we know what that is. But just in case somebody don't, it says a mindset is a series of self-perceptions or beliefs people hold about themselves. These determine behavior, outlook, and mental attitude.
Gonna preach it.
You better preach.
She just read the scripture.
So
Mindset 365.
it's knowing already, and what you know already or believe already is going to conduct how you.
That's it. That's it. And
Life
watch
and
this.
death
When
lies
you
in the
when you
power of your tongue. Speak those things.
Come on
They
now.
already are.
Y'all,
I didn't realize
when you like refuse to do this stuff because you matching energy, you only hurting your own self. You'll find yourself miserable and frustrated. It's like, why am I just? It's because
But it also shows your
against who
mindset.
you are.
I ain't matching no energy. Bye. I like if your energy high, yeah, I'm all on cloud nine. But if you got some low energy, I'm not finna stoop down to match your energy. I tell you what, sir, I holler.
Your little depressed self on now. Your depressed, anxiety ridden self on.
Exactly. No, I'm not doing that with you because I ain't always been the saved and Christian woman. I ain't doing that with you. Match energy and fool around to be hit.
Dog.
my dog said she'll knock all this over.
Knock everything over. I'm not playing with you. So no, I'm not. I don't even really match your energy right now. Just go on.
I was today's years old when I learned how much Janotica and I had in common. We like the same people in different bodies. I did not know that.
Because
that's why I can't deal with both of y'all on the same day. So we in closing, because we need to wrap this thing up. Submission should not always come with a negative connotation, and marriage is not safe. Slavery is just all about your mindset.
That's right.
And if you can't serve your man, you don't need that man. If you got a problem with serving that man, girl, let that man go.
Let him go.
Baby, you ain't gonna mind. You can't wait till that thing get home, baby, so you can give him that plate, run that bath water, and do what grown folk, married folk do with your man. You don't mind serving. If you got a problem serving your man and it feel like slavery, I'm gonna need you to trade him in and get you a new one.
Not trade him in.
And get you a new one.
I mean, just so y'all know, I be fixing lunches and cooking breakfast and everything else too.
All that right there, serving plates, and your football game and your basketball.
When I was married, I would pack lunches. I put
Emily is that woman. I know she's that woman.
Notes in there. I used to like when I was married with my first husband, we ain't having the kids. I would get up in the morning. He left the house at 5 o'clock. I would get up before he did. I would start his coffee. I would pack his lunch. So I can be all of that. You gonna be sweet to me? I'm gonna be sweet to you. You sweet to me? I'm gonna be sweeter.
She matching energy.
So any closing remarks, ladies? Anything you want to say?
I enjoyed you ladies tonight. It is time I gotta grab my we are in Phoenix City and I live about 25 minutes away.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad, like I would not have neglected this opportunity. Thank you all so much, Kim and Ebony, for inviting me. Thank you to the ladies who were on the panel. Like I really enjoyed you all as well. It was cool.
Same.
It was a good
and I told y'all I was gonna be good tonight.
You did a great job.
Girl, I owe you an edible arrangement. Girl, I owe you an edible arrangement, baby, because you have surprised me.
Little surprises.
Well, you know, I was actually looking forward to seeing what they was talking about. You didn't look.
Baby, because last year and a half ago, baby, if you catch her on the book on a good day, let somebody say something a little bit off to the left.
So we stay arguing. I love it to death, but we stay.
You know what? I think it is. I think what it was the last time we had some men on the panel, and they were coming, and I had to redirect.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what it was. It's all good.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's all good. But catch me on Facebook though, because
to another state.
That's that submissiveness, but saying because what we not gonna do is. So yeah, I get you. I understand.
So Kim, you got anything you want to say? Any closing?
I don't. I enjoyed the conversation, ladies.
Well, thank you for coming, Cynthia. Everybody.
Thank you.
That this has been You, Me, and the Trinity's Christ Connections and Conversations. Join us next week as we discuss Righteous the Wretched, Holy the Hood, the duality of the
I mean, anything ratchet, I'm fucking it.
Look, you come back
this week. We let her have you.
Look,
Are we gonna be FREE? No.
Bye. Goodbye.